We were told there were centuries of peace before the enemy came. They destroyed the old empire and were intent on wiping out all traces of humanity. But a small remnant fled, led by Prince Yaroslav of Altair. We drifted in cryostasis for centuries, pushing to the furthest edges of the universe. And now, we make our home in the Reforged Imperium, constantly reminded that we owe our lives to our Imperial saviors. I'm going to be playing a character by the name of Talian Archer, who as I rolled up the backstory of Talian, he has unsure of his background. As a matter of fact, he has amnesia. He has no idea what he was, who he was, or anything like that prior to him becoming then an assassin, a hired assassin. So that's what we know about him to begin with. He's a bit on the youthful side in terms of his appearance. He does have a very friendly disposition. However, he is never very close to anyone as well, because I think that's a way of keeping a distance between himself and his profession that he has too. And he is a bit of a blender in, so he always likes to dress as appropriate then for the particular situation that he's beginning in. So, a Italian ship, the Ektikisi, is heading then towards the Pinnacle Station. The Pinnacle Station is a backwater type of place, and so there's not a lot that's there. It's worn down. But Talian does then find an opportunity to find a an unused hangar for him to move his ship into, and he wants to keep a low profile as he is there. He arrives and he contacts then Isaac, and they decide to meet up then at one of the local establishments for drinking. And they're getting there the middle part of the day, and so there's not a whole lot of people there, and those that are there are a little bit more on the unsavory type, which makes sense for Talian and Isaac to be arriving there about this particular time. They find then a place over in the in the back corner, so they can discuss business. Still going to use a little bit of code, I think, just because careful of prying eyes, but an opportunity to be apart, be away from everything. Well, Isaac, I see that we found an opportunity to get together. I was just wondering if you were able to find that item I was looking for. Isaac a little bit downcast. Well, it's been a little bit harder than I was initially expecting to be able to find it. Oh, how so? Well, we've had a little bit of problems. Is this going to be something then that's going to cause some issue with me being able to go about my business? Let's ask the Oracle. I think this is going to be a 50-50, whether it is or not. And it definitely is something that's going to be difficult. Well, I see. Is there anything that I can do to help, how should we say, grease the situation along? What is the nature of the problem? Let's ask the Oracle. So let's go for an action and a theme. So let's go ahead and let's see. We have a 19 and a 13. Okay, so 19 and a 13. So we have change. Ooh, that's not good. Change corruption. Change corruption. That's an interesting thing. Change corruption. All right. Okay. So Isaac then is a black marketeer. Talian is here to pick up something from him. There's been a change in corruption. I think what that means is that Isaac's contact has changed, and so it's someone who is not as well known to Isaac. Well, there's been a change in some of the positions around here, and it's changed then my ability to be able to get things done in a timely manner. Well, Isaac, if it's a matter of maybe a little bit more money, then I think I can handle some of that. No, I think it's a little more serious than that. Talian, let me be frank with you. I can't get the item that you asked for. Oh, that causes a bit of a problem then. But I do know a person who can. All right, so Isaac then has a different contact. All right, I think we can work with this. Let's find, who do I need to contact here? Number 17, let's see. We need to get in contact with Brennan Quent. All right, Brennan Quent is our new contact. And what is his character aspect? 53. So 53, character aspect of 53, he is insensitive. Okay, so Brennan Quint is insensitive. Well, the problem is my person we need to contact is currently gotten some problems down at the colony down there at Greenhaven, and I think you need to get him out. Well, So let me tell you, you have an issue that there's been a change. You have another contact who might be able to work, but he is currently then sitting in a prison cell. Am I getting this right? I think that's kind of the gist of it, yeah. All right, well, I think that does kind of create a bit of a problem for us in a lot of ways. All right. Now, if I get Brennan Quint out, would he be able then to procure these things for me, and we can kind of say that we're even? I think this would be a 50-50. Definitely. Okay. So, yeah, he's already has everything kind of lined up. It's just a matter of getting access. Okay. All right. I think I can do this then. All right. Give me his information. So he gives him kind of Brennan Quint's information to kind of figure out where and how to kind of get in contact with him. I wonder though, has the conversation between Talian and Isaac drawn any attention? I think they're keeping it all kind of on the down low, kind of off in the corner, so I think it's unlikely, but we better check just in case. And on an unlikely then, let's see, 76 or greater. And so it's a 13. No, they don't draw any attention to themselves. Okay. So in that case then, I think that Talian will bid Isaac adieu and begin the process of trying to go and save and rescue then his individual, this Brennan Quint fellow. So he is going to then make a trek down to the planet, because that's where he's been told he is at. But I think at the same time, he wants to make sure then that he's not spotted, because he's not there for the best of reasons. So he'd rather not have then any paperwork of his arrival. So then so we're going to make a exploration move of undertake an expedition. So that is going to be undertake an expedition, move at speed, no, keep under the radar. Okay, so it's roll plus shadow. All right, now Talian does have a high shadow, so we are rolling plus 3. So that is an 8. That is a hard success then. So on a hard success, strong hit, you reach a waypoint, a visual location, and mark progress toward the rank of your expedition. Okay, so our goal then at this point then is to break Brennan out of prison. Okay, break out Brennan. Out Brennan. And I think this is going to be let's have this be a dangerous. All right, so we are then, you reach a waypoint, envision location, mark progress for the rank of your, okay, so we do make mark progress, so, all right, 1, 2, all right. So I think then he is able to kind of find an area then in which he's able to kind of make kind of a covert entry into the planet and down to kind of the territory of Redhaven. Now, I suspect then that probably what he found then was some sort of kind of landing pad that kind of the black marketeers use that's not all that well known. So it's going to be a little bit then away from the area. Now, what we do know about Redhaven is kind of in a jungle planet. It's not a large community there, so there's only a few hundred people, so kind of everyone knows everyone. So that kind of creates a little bit of a problem for us in terms of trying to blend in, but at the same time though, everyone kind of lives up in the kind of higher echelons then of the trees according to the sector information, and so I think then where we're at then is this landing pad is probably then kind of under the cover of the trees, so he kind of lands down there. Now he needs to find a way then up to the settlement area itself. Okay, now there are going to be, I imagine, there are going to be some kind of lifts, elevators then to kind of take people up to the top. But however, then he's not interested in using one of those because of the fact then that he doesn't want to have his presence kind of be known to everyone. And so he's going to kind of sneak his way around. And in that case then, let's see, I think we are going to kind of gather information. Would probably be the best way of doing that. Search for clues, ask questions, analyze evidence, or do research. So we're looking for clues. Clues in order to find a way up to the top. So that is our plus wits. Our wits are not one of our strong suits, but we'll see what happens, shall we? 7. So that is a weak hit. A weak hit you succeed, but a troublesome cost. Make a suffer move -1. Okay, so I think then so we lose a little bit of our momentum as we're trying to figure out then kind of a way to kind of get there. It's going to take us a little bit of time, but I think in one sense that's going to kind of help us out because it'll have then kind of get later in the day, and Talian has some special features when it's darker. It kind of helps him out when he's kind of moving around. But then I think he finds then kind of a little used kind of path in order to get up to the top of the trees. And so he kind of makes his way up there. So now that he's there, now he needs to figure out exactly kind of where he is being held. I think probably the best way to do that, it's kind of a staple. So he's going to be heading to the bar, see if he can find then anyone that might be able to help him. So he arrives at the bar. Is there going to be anyone there that might be suspicious? Is there going to be anyone there that's going to be of help to him? I'm going to say that it is kind of a 50-50 chance, so who knows? Let's see what happens. And no, there is not. There's not anyone at the bar. So Talian then kind of sits down. He kind of glances around, and it's still kind of the middle of the day, so there's not really anybody there, and he's looking around at just kind of an empty place. And so he kind of asked then the barkeep, has there been any excitement around here lately? Well, I guess we had a bit of a bar fight in this place just a couple of nights ago. There's one of the local fellows got into a bit of a tiff then with this guy from Pinnacle Station, some sort of a traitor type of guy. But he caused a little bit of trouble, and both of them got locked up. And the local guy, of course, he was able to get out the next day. But we sometimes got to teach those Pinnacle guy stations a lesson. So he's still kind of locked up. I hear there might be something else involved in that. Oh, really? Talian doesn't want to pry too much because, again, he's trying to keep a little bit of a low profile. She's kind of made note of this. But I'm just here to kind of pick up some goods and then head back out myself. Now, this wouldn't be too uncommon here because Red Haven is kind of an agricultural settlement, and so people are picking up things, dropping supplies off, etc., kind of on a regular basis. So I don't think that that's going to cause any sort of suspicion then to fall on Talian. Well, though, barkeep, I want to kind of keep I don't want to get myself into trouble either, being one of those off-worlder type, So, any suggestions on where I might to avoid being around any of those that might get me into sort of trouble and get locked up in the same place as this Pinnacle Station fellow? You got the police station, the guardhouse. It's located over in the kind of the western quarter of the settlement here, and then kind of on the northern side, you got the kind of the administrative center. But you should know where that's at in terms of that's where you have to get your licenses in order to bring goods in and out of here. But you should be fine, I think. Particularly, however, though, not wanting to get in trouble, then you'd want to go to those areas because that's where there's going to be the most presence. But I think you're wanting to not worry about being an off-worlder. So whatever you do. And with that, then I think then Talian will finish his drink, slide the guy just a couple of extra credits in order because of his helpfulness, and kind of move on his way. Now he's going to be heading over then, I think, directly to the location then of the prison, of the cell, probably where he thinks Brennan is going to be kept. Okay, he wants then to kind of approach there stealthily. In order to kind of not be noticed. And so I think then what he's going to do, now one of the things that Talian is he is a shade. He's also a blade master, but he is a shade. So what that does is when he is attempting to make a move to ambush, hide, or sneak, the action die is set as a 5 or a 6 if it's dark. It's not quite dark yet. It's getting there, but it's not quite there yet. So that's going to be set then as at a 5, and he's going to attempt then to kind of sneak his way over to this particular area. So that is going to be plus shadow, so it's a 5 plus 3 is going to be 8. So we have a pretty good chance of succeeding, and we do. That is but that is doubles. Okay, so that gives us then something fortuitous, and so we're going to take 2 momentum. So we're up to 3, and we get to add +1 to our next move as we kind of move our way in there. And I think what's happened kind of is the advantage he's going to get on a hard hit is that at this part of the day, the guardhouse is going to be lightly stationed. All right, so that's not a full complement of individuals kind of filling out. They're doing their rounds at this point, I think is probably what we're looking at, but I do get a +1 on my next roll. Okay, so then, Talian is on his way. He arrives then at the station, he kind of has a look around. Is Brennan going to be at a kind of an outer wall area? I think that's going to be likely. 35 and unlikely. Yes, okay, so definitely Brennan is on kind of an outer wall kind of cell type of thing. So he kind of looks around, and as he goes through, he doesn't notice too many people in here because it's a small it's a small place. There's not going to be too many people in jail at any one time. Then he does find someone that kind of matches then the description of Brennan. I think then what he will do is he doesn't want to make a lot of noise, so he will kind of write out a kind of a small message on a piece of paper and kind of toss it in to the open window. And then probably a few minutes later, then he sees then an individual kind of pop his head up and kind of peer through. Now, Talian at this point does not want to reveal himself because you still got to be a little bit careful. So he's just going to kind of use his voice. So I think he's kind of crouched down below the window itself. I think we have a mutual friend. Yeah, who's that? Oh, fellow up on Pinnacle Station. Isaac by name. Oh yeah, Isaac. Yeah. I do some business with him every once in a while. Really? Okay. Well, what are you coming here for? Well, Isaac told me that you were in the process of getting some goods, and before you were, let's say, apprehended. I'm just wondering if getting you out might do some good in getting the job done. Well, yeah, of course. I want to get out of here. Okay, I'll tell you what. All right. Guard changes in a little while. I'm not sure exactly how long. They kind of varied a little bit. You can imagine they'd want to do those sorts of things. But maybe we can kind of get in contact in some way. All right. Does Talian have anything that might be useful to him in order to get in contact? I believe there is, yes, a resupply roll. All right, so let's see if he has that on him to be able to do that. And a resupply roll, okay, attempt to bolster your readiness. Okay, we're not bartering, we're not raising, okay, scavenging or crap. Okay, so we'll roll plus wit. See if he remembered to kind of bring anything with him for this. Ooh, no, that is definitely a miss. You encounter unexpected peril, pay the price. Okay, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Okay, so let's see what happens. We're going to roll on the fate chart to see what's going to happen with our pay the price. And that is a 36. On a 36, what happens? Something of value is lost or destroyed. Okay, something of value is lost or destroyed. Okay. Okay, now he was looking then for kind of a communication device, and so I think, okay, that's, always go with the simplest thing, right? Okay, so he kind of reaches into his pockets, and he is missing then the device that he would normally use for such a situation. Problem with it is that it is then something that is directly connected then to his ship, and so if someone finds it, it's kind of a little bit of a kind of a beacon, so that's going to create a little bit of a problem then, is that his communication device then is lost, and so he doesn't have access to it. Okay, so all right, well, that's not going to work. I think we're going to have to make this a little bit more direct, shall we say. Okay, so quick question that he will ask. How many guards are on duty? More than 5? 50-50? 97. Yes, there are more than 5 guards. Okay. Ooh, that's going to cause a bit of a problem then. All right. So then, I think then what he is going to do is he's definitely going to have to wait at this point. He can't make a charge at the moment, and they're not going to be able to communicate with one another. So I think then what's going to happen is Talian is going to kind of keep watch of things down here for a couple of hours, see kind of how things kind of move about and whatnot, and see what he can do as a part of this. So we need to then gather some information. I should have made a check your gear roll earlier, but we're going to go with it. Instead of the what was it? What did I choose? I used a resupply. I should have used a check your gear as opposed to a resupply, but we're just going to go with it. This is kind of, we're moved. However, though, he is going to gather some information, so we do want to do a little bit of a search. So plus wits, again, not one of his better suits. Let's see how he does. We do have that +1 that I haven't used yet, so I forgot to use last time. Okay, so that's a 4, so that is a weak hit. So on a weak hit, what do we get? Gather information. The information provides new insight, but also complicates your quest. Envision what you discover, and then take a +1. Okay, so he is looking then for kind of patterns of things. But one of the things he does notice is that the guards seem to be always ready. They don't seem to kind of slack off. That they're diligent in what they're doing. Great, we've got guards that are actually interested in their job. Okay, so then. But he does notice when the change of guard is going to happen, and he's able, even though Brennan was not able to kind of figure out a pattern, I think though still Talian, because of his skills, does kind of see a pattern in the way that they kind of do things, that they stagger their change of guards, but it's still got a little bit of regularity to it, but they are always readied. And so I think then he's going to attempt to do it when there's a point when there's probably the least amount of guards at any one time. Okay, so let's say there's going to be kind of 3 guards. Now let's kind of set things up a little bit so we get an idea of how this is going to work ourselves out. So I think then we're going to have the kind of the entrance to kind of be right about here. So let's just kind of draw this out a bit, kind of the guard house. All right, kind of the front area then, this will be where kind of in the back wall the cells are at, I think is what we'll have here. And so Brennan will probably be in this one over here. Okay, so we've got a couple of guards. I think probably the best thing to do is we'll have one guard just kind of on the outside. Then we will have kind of a couple guards on the inside. I think one will probably be back with the prisoner just to kind of keep an eye on things for the moment. Now. All right, this then I think is going to be, let's see, this is a deal with guards. No, I think it's going to be dangerous. I'm going to say troublesome, but let's go ahead and make this a dangerous task as well. Okay, so then, first thing we got to do, Talian wants to try to sneak up and take this one particular guard out. And so to do that, then he is going to, preparing to act against unaware foe, roll plus shadow. Okay, so now he does have then, he is a blade master. Okay, so when you clash or strike, we're not there yet. We're entering into the fray, so we don't get to use this one yet. Though Talian is going to try to sneak up on this particular individual and take him out. And I think if he gets a strong hit, well, we'll wait. We'll let the dice decide. So, plus then his shadow, which is a +3. That is an 8. Ooh. Okay, that is a miss. So on a miss, on entering the fray, the fight begins with you in a bad spot. Okay, so do the other guards inside here? I think it's likely that they do, but let's just kind of check to make sure. 28. I think that's a no. Right? Likely there's a 26 or greater. Okay, so they do. All right, so other guards do hear what's going on. So we then have particularly, do both guards react? I think it's likely. Yes, both guards do react. Okay, so they're both kind of moving into this particular area. Okay, and they see what's going on. All right. This one's kind of staying back a little bit, kind of guarding the entrance. All right, but they are then happening. So we've got then a clash going on. Now on clash, in close quarters, all right, I get to add +1. All right, so on a clash then, it is plus edge. His plus edge is 2, okay. All right, so that is a 5. Okay, so that is a weak hit. Mark progress, but you're dealt a counter blow or a setback. You stay in a bad price spot and you must pay the price. Okay, so we do then make 1 progress. Okay, so we are making a progress on this. But what else? Must pay the price. Okay, so we will roll to pay the price. That is a 75 on a 75. You are harmed. Okay, so I think then in that case, that definitely means that my health is going down. All right, so put our health down to 4. Okay, so was there anything else we did on Clash? Do a counter blow or setback, you are in a bad spot, must pay the price. Okay, so yeah, so I think then the other thing that's probably going to happen is that it's kind of a larger kind of call that's kind of put out, and so Talian knows he only has a little bit of time left before anything happens. But however, he needs to figure out a way in order to get out of this. Now, all right, we're going to have to do the clash roll. All right, so that is clash is plus edge, so he has a +2, plus he gets 1 with his Blade Master, so it's a +3, so he has a 7. I will go ahead and burn my momentum in order to make that a strong hit. Okay, so on a clash with a strong hit, let's see. Mark progress twice, you overwhelm your foes, and you are now in control. So we get to make progress twice. So I think then probably with that is what's happened is this guard that's right here, he has kind of been able to kind of take him out as part of his attempts. But he is back in control then. I think then what he wants to do is try to create an advantage for himself. And in order to create an advantage, okay, no, gain ground, that's probably what I want to say. In pursuit, fleeing, charging, bodily into action, gaining leverage with force. Okay, so he was going to kind of attempt to misdirect. I think then, I don't think he's going to do the typical, oh, look over there type of thing. But I think then, given his skills, he knows how to fight very well, so he can kind of feign in one direction while going at another. And so I think what he's going to be doing is he's going to move towards this one with his rapier, but at the same time he's going to use his other hand to fire at the one that's in the back of him. So attempting to kind of gain ground, so he is rolling plus shadow. Right, plus shadow is a +3, and so that is a 7. That is a strong hit. Great. Okay, so on a strong hit, choose 2. So mark progress or take +2 momentum. Let's go ahead and take some momentum, and we are going to mark the 2 progress as well. So we're back up to 4 on our momentum chart, and we will take our it said mark 2 progress? Yeah, no, just mark progress. Okay. So, all right. So I think with that, he probably did take this individual out as well. Now, though, he definitely wants to take decisive action to end this particular standoff. He is at 9, and so, okay, that is a strong success. Take +1 momentum, any objective remain, and the fight continues. You are in control. Okay, so then, okay, so he does succeed in that, and so he is able then to dispatch this other particular guard. We do get to take another +1 momentum. All right, I think then that also marks then off another, off of our breakout Brennan goal here. Okay. Now, so he's kind of entering it. Now, he knows he does not have a whole lot of time, and I think he's going to search the body, he's going to search around, see if he can find then the keys then to the cell. So I think we're just going to make that a kind of a gather information type of roll, which I believe is going to be a fail. Your investigation unearths a dire threat or reveals an unwelcome truth that undermines your quest. Pay the price. Okay, so I think then the keys to the cell are not here. And I think then he needs to figure out some other way in order to get him out. But this is going to, I think, pay the price. That's the oracle for what this is going to be. All right, so a 78 and a 52. So 78 and a 52. Research law. Okay. I think the most obvious thing is that we've got more people coming. Okay, so he knows he does not have a lot of time. I think the last thing he has on him is he is going to probably have to, it's almost as if this didn't, if he retreats though. Okay, where is he at on his breaking him out? It's not very good. It's only a 4. Okay. All right. Does Talian have any explosives on him? I think that's what we need. Does Talian have any explosives on him? Okay. So then he's going to, this time he is going to check his gear, and that is roll plus supply. Okay, so plus supply. His supplies are full, so it's a +5. So that is a 9. That is definitely then strong hit. If you have it and ready to act, take +1 momentum. Okay, very good. All right, so he does then have some explosives with him. Excellent. All right, so he is definitely then going to tell Brennan to kind of get to the back of his cell, and he is going to, I think, uses kind of a small one to kind of take off the lock itself. And so in this particular case, then would this be it's not really a combat move. You know, I'm just going to say that this is definitely then going to be let's just make it a strike. Why not? Just because. So that is going to be, let's see, close quarters or roll edge. Okay. let's just say it's they're both the same, so let's just see what we get. So that is a 5. Okay, we just gotten some momentum. So let's see, we've got then a couple to spend. So we will then make that a, let's see, okay, so we will then spend that in order to make that a weak hit. So then striking on a weak hit, make progress twice, but you expose yourself to danger, you are in a bad spot. Okay, so we have then moved ourselves up a little bit more. So we have then kind of broken out, but we are in a bad spot. There are definitely more guards have more guards have arrived. Okay, at this point. So yeah, because there are more than 5. Okay, so where we're at now is we've got some kind of guards coming in. They've heard what's going on. They probably heard a little bit of the ruckus. We have then Brennan here to kind of give a little bit of aid. Talian has kind of busted them out now. I think they're definitely kind of in a bit of a straits here at this point. Now, how do we want to do this? Now, I think then ultimately Talian and Brennan just kind of want to get away, because I think just kind of go with this kind of a bit of a fight is going to be difficult. So we're going to go ahead and do probably a battle move. I think might be the best way to try this to kind of, are they going to be able to escape and get out of this? So when you fight a battle, it happens in a blur. Fight at range, fight depending on your courage, fight close up, fight using trickery, and befuddle your foe. That's what we're going to do. So we're using then plus shadow. So is Talian and Brennan going to be able to escape? That is a 7. That is a weak hit. You achieve rejected, but not without cost. Pay the price. Okay, I think then the price of that is definitely going to be that they've lost some of their health, and they've also then lost some of their momentum as a part of this. However, though, they do escape. They do get out of this. So let's go ahead. Definitely then he has breaking Brennan out. Okay, so we are at plus 8. I think the question is, are they going to get away scot-free from, as they're kind of running and fleeing then from the guards here? So let's go ahead and see then if we have succeeded then in our task. Okay. Burn the momentum. In order to, oh, we can't. Okay, so on a weak hit, there's more to be done than you realize the truth of your quest. Okay, a weak hit, so it does kind of then create then some issues and some problems later on. What those are yet, we don't know. Okay, but we have then kind of cleared this whole issue out for now, at least. We do know that Brendan then has the ability to kind of get then Talian the goods that he needs. Is he able to do it here, and can they just kind of load things up and go? I'm going to say it's a 50-50 chance whether they can do that in 81. So yeah, so they're able to do this. So they're able to kind of load things up from the docks here at Greehaven, kind of move up. Now, they are going to be heading then kind of back to Pinnacle Station at this point. Now, the question is, though, in this particular sector, there are pirates. Is there going to be an issue with pirates? Again, I think that's going to be a 50-50 chance whether or not they're going to have any issue with the pirates. And so, yes, they are. Okay. So what happens to Brennan and Talian? What about those pirates? Is it out of the frying pan into the fryer? Who knows, but we'll find out then next time. I hope you enjoyed this kind of introductory episode then to Reforged Imperium. I'm learning this system of Starforged, so I know I made a couple of errors with some of the rules, so if you notice some of those that maybe I didn't, I kind of just try to go with things as they happen instead of kind of trying to go back and then make them correct after later on if I've gone much farther down the way, or to try to correct them immediately if I am able. But if you did notice any errors that I made in terms of the rules, please put them down in the comments down below, because I think, as I've said many times, this is all about us learning together, enjoying and sharing then this opportunity of playing role-playing games. So until next time, thanks for joining me.